So it's official. Dillian Whyte will fight Alexander Povetkin in a rematch on November the 21st, live and exclusive on Sky Sports Box Office. Eddie Hearn has said that 2 potential venues for this fight are Wembley Arena, not to be confused with Wembley Stadium. Okay, this is the arena opposite the stadium, which holds about, I don't know what it is, 10, 12,000 or something, Wembley Arena. And the other potential venue is the Royal Albert Hall, which I personally prefer. I think it's a great boxing venue and an underused boxing venue these days. I know Frank Warren's had a couple shows there over the past year or so. But yeah, the 2 venues, just for nostalgia's sake, I prefer the Royal Albert Hall. And also, if there are spectators in there, you get a real good view of the action if you're at the Royal Albert Hall because of the way that the building is structured, the seating, etc. So yeah, let's hope that there are fans in there. But even if there aren't, Eddie Hearn says it's going ahead anyway. So there's some good entertainment there to look forward to. Now, this fight is literally 3 months, almost to the day, after his first fight with Alexander Povetkin. And so the question is going to be, is this turnaround a little too quick? Because you've had Anthony Joshua, for example, when he fought Ruiz in a rematch, he had 6 months. Dillian Whyte has got half that time. And it's not just about adjusting technically, maybe coming in a bit lighter so you're faster. It's also about overcoming the mental scars of what happened the first time. And you see, the thing about the Anthony Joshua Ruiz fight is Anthony Joshua didn't get knocked out with one punch. He got caught and, he was hurt. He got up again. He got up, he got dropped again. So he got dropped multiple times and it was more of a slow demise over the course of 7 rounds. Whereas with Dillian Whyte, he got caught with one shot in a fight he was dominating. And that was it. So it's a different type of mental obstacle to overcome. Anthony Joshua went in there against Ruiz in the rematch, and he knew that Ruiz could hurt him, but he hadn't been knocked out by one shot in the first fight. So if he did get in trouble, if he did get hurt at any point, he probably felt like, you know what, I can probably survive it this time around. I'm lighter. I'm not going to engage. If he does hurt me, I'm just going to move around until my head clears, Whereas Dillian Whyte, he's going into the rematch with Povetkin knowing that one tiny mistake and the fight's over. If he catches me with that kind of shot again, I'm done. So it's a different type of pressure, a different type of scar psychologically to deal with. So going to be interesting to see what happens here. Also going to be interesting to see what the box office figures are like. Now, in the UK, the furlough scheme ends, I believe, at the end of October. And when that happens, unfortunately, this is the reality of the situation. Because of the lockdown policy, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. I mean, we're already seeing people losing their jobs. And that means, the knock-on effect means that there are going to be people with less disposable income, a lot more people with less disposable income come the end of October, going into, by November 21st. So how much is that going to affect pay-per-view sales? Not just for Dillian Whyte, Povetkin too, but, many other boxing matches. The first Whyte Povetkin fight has apparently done more pay-per-view than Whyte Rivas. Okay. And again, that was the first big fight, the first pay-per-view since the whole lockdown started. So, it's kind of understandable, particularly towards the back end of summer, that people would support the fight. Even though there wasn't that much excitement for Whyte Povetkin, it was kind of seen as a formality. Yes, Povetkin is a big name, but a lot of people felt like he was over the hill and Dillian Whyte should take care of business without too many issues. But now people know how dangerous Povetkin still is, at least against Dillian Whyte. Will this lead to an increase in pay-per-view sales for the rematch? Because now people know how good the first fight was, first of all, because, both guys were on the canvas, right? The fight went 5 rounds and ended in a brutal one-punch knockout. So fans now understand that this is a real fight. This is not no joke business. This is a fight where both guys could hit the deck, and fans like that, particularly at heavyweight. So let's see what the sales are going to do. Again, we don't know how the ending of the furlough scheme is going to affect people's, or to what extent it's going to affect people's disposable income and how that might impact on boxing. I suspect that it will probably be a month or two or a couple months before the full ramifications of the furlough scheme ending are really felt on the economy. So we'll see. But anyway, enough of that. From a boxing perspective, I think it's a very interesting rematch, and it's going to tell us a lot about both fighters. It's going to tell us how quickly Dillian Whyte can heal mentally from this type of thing, whether he can rectify the technical issues. Now, there are different opinions on how Dillian Whyte should approach a rematch. Some people, like David Haye, Derek Chisora, think that Dillian Whyte should basically go in there and empty the cartridge and try and take Povetkin out early. Just put it on him. Then there are others, I think Shane McGuigan's one, and a few other people in boxing who think that no, Dillian Whyte should just do what he did first time around, stick on his jab, and just not engage on the inside. One thing which I think we need to pay attention to, and some people have pointed out, is that Povetkin was having success with body shots in the fight, and that was causing Dillian Whyte to hunch over and try and protect his ribs. Okay. And this might be one of the reasons why he chose to stand in close with Povetkin like that. That might be one of the reasons, because when he's at long range and he's got his hands up, his body's exposed. Povetkin might not be able to get to his head because Dillian's got the shots blocked or he moves out of the way, but he can get to his body. Dillian doesn't have the quickest feet. And so maybe those body shots were affecting Dillian more than we realize. Now, in terms of the two strategies, people thinking he just needs to stick to his box and do what he did the first time around. It was working. He just got caught on the inside and he shouldn't have been on the inside. That strategy versus going forward, all guns blazing and trying to put it on Povetkin. I think that either way, it's a gamble. I mean, I can see going into the rematch why people might think he should go in there and put it on Povetkin and get him before, he gets caught again. But when you attack Povetkin like that and try to push him back, you are going to be vulnerable to shots yourself. You are going to give him openings. You see, the way Dillian Whyte fought the first time around, he caught Povetkin first. Remember that. He was boxing at long range, and he's the one who landed the big shots that put his opponent on the canvas first. So we know that he can land big shots before Povetkin if he boxes at long range. If he decides to go forward and put it on Povetkin, we don't know whether Dillian Whyte is going to be able to land his damaging punches before Povetkin lands. So it's more of an unknown in terms of what would happen if he decides to go with that strategy. Personally, I think that as I said going into the first fight, in the early rounds, he should be careful, especially with the mental scars from the first fight. He should be careful. He should box the same way he did first time around. As the fight progresses, if he starts doing damage to Povetkin and maybe he wants to get him out of there, I mean, this is kind of what AJ said. He said in the fourth round, Dillian Whyte should have stepped on the gas and tried to take Povetkin out after he dropped him the first time. Even though that's what got AJ knocked out against Ruiz, right? He stepped on the gas and he got himself chinned, and AJ didn't do that in the rematch with Ruiz. So it's kind of a little interesting that AJ is giving Dillian Whyte advice which got him knocked out. Maybe he's thinking that in his own fight with Povetkin, that worked. Although it didn't really, because AJ was trying to stand with Povetkin in the early rounds, and he got himself hurt. He got a bloody nose. He wasn't doing well against Povetkin early on when he was standing with him. When AJ started moving around, that's when he started tiring Povetkin out, and he softened him up sufficiently to be able to get him out in the seventh. And he didn't really put it on Povetkin in the seventh. He was moving around, and he caught him with a good shot. And once he caught him, then he put it on him. Once he hurt him, then he went forward and attacked. But he didn't do what Derek Chisora or David Haye are suggesting Dillian Whyte should do against Povetkin, which is just, go ahead, all guns blazing from the first bell. So let's see what happens in terms of his strategy. It's no matter what tactics he decides to go with, it's going to be a very, very dangerous fight, especially in light of what happened last time. So it's a gamble either way. Let's see where he goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What tactics do you think he will use? And what tactics do you think he should use? Those are two different questions. All right, let me know, people. It's happening. I'm out.